This is Chittenango Landing, Old Erie Canal State Historic Park. Right, do a little reading. Drydocks Canal Service Centers. When a canal boat needed repairs, the captain went to the nearest dry dock. A dry dock was a basin or a bay that could be flooded to get a boat in, and then drained so that the boat could be repaired. Along the canal, at least 44 different dry docks operated over a 100-year period. The bay depths, each of the 3 bays had a different depth. This allowed for empty, partially loaded, and loaded boats to be repaired. When the bays were filled, the water depths were 6, 7, and 8 feet respectively. But I wonder where they were over here. Those bays. Today, Chittenango is home to the only recovered and reconstructed 3-bay dry dock on the Erie Canal. After it was discovered, volunteers began digging in the summer of 1987. They used old maps and photographs to guide them as they dug out the dry dock bays and looked for building foundations. Oh, okay, I think I got this. So back that way where we were is where those 3 entrances going onto that bridge, those were the dry docks. That is so cool. So you had the sluiceway, a narrow channel behind the gates, carried water out of the dry dock bays. Most docks were located on the edge of streams or slopes where water could easily drain. But Chittenango's dry dock complex was built on level ground. To drain the bays, the owners dug a ditch a quarter-mile to Chittenango Creek. And miter gates operated by 2 people on either side. These gates formed a V shape with a point facing out towards the canal. When closed, water from the canal pushed on the gates, creating a tight seal. And the drop gates could be operated by 1 person using a hand crank mechanism, which was located on top of the bay walls. The gate pivoted at the bottom and fell towards the canal, similar to castle moat gates, like Mordor. But they had those nasty trolls. I guess there's another building that used to be here. There, I think, I don't know, was that just wood? I have no idea. Let's go over to the next thing. Let's read about this. I never stop and read things. There you go, feeding the canal. So this picture is that. The high ground from Syracuse to Rome, known as the Rome Summit Level, was the first completed section of the canal. Water does not naturally fill this section because of its elevation, but the canal needed to be full to be open. Construction of several reservoirs and canals ensured it had a constant source of water and maintained water levels regardless of rainfall or seasonal changes. Before you lies the Chittenango Canal, right there. As a lateral canal, it supplied water directly to the Erie Canal from the meandering waters of Chittenango Creek. Feeder canals allowed towns and businesses direct access to the Erie Canal. Chittenango was one of the first lateral canals built, as well as one of the most successful. That's cool. Now my speed on this trip is going to be just really reduced because of the stopping, but that's all right. I'm learning something. So that's a picture of what it probably used to look like. Right there. No, so that's where it was. It was actually right there. Oh, and you can see the cranks too for the gates. And those are the 3 slots. I didn't realize that. So I was wrong. It wasn't down that end. It actually was right there. In the 1800s, the boatyard across from you was full of boat shops, people, horses, and mules. The heart of the complex was the 3-bay dry dock where canal boats were repaired. See that? New boats were built on the ground next to the dry docks. We're doing them out of order, I guess. Over time, the complex also contained business such as a dry dock, dry goods, supply store, blacksmith shop, sawmill, woodworking shop, stables, and boarding house for boatyard workers. With so much activity, this boatyard was equivalent of a thruway stop for canal travelers. Yep, those are old stones. That probably was part of an old building right there. Okay, just the last little piece of information we got. A cannery at the crosswaters. The canal increased industry productivity. The cookie brought a raw materials and workers to factories and made shipping faster and cheaper than transporting over land. Some structures of the canal were even specially designed for multiple uses to further increase efficiency. The Merle Sewell Cannery, where the Shenango Canal meets the Erie Canal. That's what used to be here. That's what those rocks are. Huh. That's amazing. Cannery. Many structures of the canal are built to serve more than one purpose. See that? The stone walls you see across the canal are all that remain of the Merle Sewell Cannery. Workers at the factory canned vegetables from nearby farms and made vegetable powder for soups and pies. As seen in this photo taken in 1907, the cannery employed women as well as men. Later, the cannery also used labor from German prisoner of war camps. These prisoners were housed at what is now Green Lake State Park and often worked on farms in the area. Due to their fair treatment, many chose to stay in New York once World War II came to an end. Wow, I did not know that. That's amazing. Some even brought their families overseas from Germany. Wow. Gives me a whole new perspective on maybe why my grandmother's parents eventually came to the United States, but we'll see. All right, onwards and upwards. There's another old building which dates back. That's so cool. See, these buildings, they all need to be restored, but by private people, not by the government. The government never does things right. And most of these trails are done because of private people donating and such, getting this stuff done on the canal. I mean, really, there's no traffic of any kind on the canal anymore. It's all kayakers, bikers, walkers, and runners. That's what it is. So, alright, talk to you soon. Canal detours here. So now I'm in the woods. The canal's no longer to my right, it's to my left, which you can't see anymore. It's down the gully. So I'm going to be coming up on another parking area, and I'm going to have to pedal down the street a little bit to get back on the canal path. So there is sections where there's deviations, but you know, they're not big. We go through the city of Syracuse, the canal no longer is there, so there is no path to follow through the city of Syracuse at all. I ran into a couple of people going from Buffalo to Albany who actually flew into Buffalo from, I think it was Detroit. And they were coming through, because the canal ends in Camillus, west of the city of Syracuse. Then it's gone. And they actually were in the city of Syracuse, but they were heading back towards Camillus because they were so lost, because there's no help. So I actually was on my road bike that day. I took them back to the canal path where it would be to get them back to where, kind of like where I am now on this path, but you know, 15 miles or so back. So that was pretty cool. And I've read a lot about that. So here I am, trying to get back to the true path. I'll probably about another half mile or so before I make my little turn. So I'll catch up with you guys soon. Bye. Here we go, end of the road. There's, if you can see closely, you see the railroad tracks to my left, but then you see water beyond that. That's the canal again.